to work this real quick as a kind of warm-up. So let's discuss it. And so triangle ABC, so if I were to draw that out, I have A, B, C, all right? And B is 65, C, bless you, is 45, and A is 3 right there. So there's the picture that they gave me. So obviously I have angle A to go find, I have side B, and I have side C. That's what I need to go find, okay? What type of triangle is this? What would we classify it as? It is a cube, okay? Well, what are the 3 letters that I would use?
3, 4, 5.
Angle, side, angle. So angle, side, angle, whichever way I read that. So it's an angle, side, angle, all right? Can I use law of sines? In the very beginning, no, but what can I find really quick? The last angle, right? So this is 110 degrees right here, which means I have 70 left over for that. So I can go set up law of sines real quick, because what do I need to be able to use law of sines? An angle side. I need a match. I need both A's, both B's, or both C's. Okay? In this case, I now have both A's. So I would do sine of 70 over 3. And which one did I recommend that you do first? The small one. Do the small one first. So sine of 45 over C. And what did we do on Friday? We cross multiplied to go solve this. Okay? Remember, our calculator's got to be in what? Got to be in degrees. So I'm going to go 3 sine of 45 over sine of 70. So on new, I'm not going to save that. I'm going to add a calculator, and I'm going to go control division, and I'm going to say 3 sine of 45 over sine of 70. So the first one is 2.26. So that was side C. Is that what it is? All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, but the 45 is going to change to 65. And I get 2.89. So that's what you should have gotten here. So the smaller one was C, so 2.26 and 2.89. And we said that we can double check real quick by doing what?
Making sure it's this
Biggest and smallest.
The biggest angle ought to have the biggest side. The smallest angle ought to have the smallest side. I can double check real quick just to make sure I'm kind of in the right spot and find any kind of mess ups that I have. Okay? All right. We're going to talk about law of sines again today. All right? So if you remember real quick, I'm going to put these up on the screen. All right? These are the 8 different ways that we said we could do triangle congruence theorems. That's not surprising. All right? So there's my 8. Okay? Now, we discussed on, yes ma'am?
What do you mean you can use them for congruence? Like,
Well, we use these from congruence in geometry, because if two triangles had this angle side angle and the other one had the same angle side angle, then they were congruent triangles.
oh, yes.
Okay, that's why I can say congruence theorems. That's where these kind of started for you guys, but we're using them as well. Okay, which of these did we say that we could not do? The angle. So we kind of did an example of that the other day. We didn't do those. These right here, these all had double angles in them. They had 2 angles, so we could go find a third angle, and those are the ones that we did law of sines on Friday. Okay? So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to discuss these. Okay? Yes, I wrote the bad word on there. I don't say it. Sometimes it causes me shock when I see it, and that's the whole reason I'm writing it up there, because with what we're doing today, I need you to step and pump the brakes, pause in this problem, because there's some interesting things happening in this one. Okay? So that's where we're going to start to begin. All right. So I need a a volunteer, all right? I need somebody to help me. All you gotta do is hold come on, Calvin. All you gotta do is hold a ruler, all right? All right, so here we go. I'm gonna put on the board, I'm gonna put an angle on the board, all right? So there's the angle. So it's matched like that. I'm gonna be one side, she's gonna be the other side, okay? And so I don't know the distance of this angle down here at the bottom, or the side right here. So this could go on indefinitely, I don't really know that, okay? So I'm gonna put mine here. I got an angle, and I have an angle there, and connect yours with mine, and can I make a triangle? It doesn't work. That's a triangle?
Well, no.
Does it connect?
Yeah.
It doesn't connect all the way. So there's something upward there. That one doesn't work, right? So obviously this angle is not a very good angle for me. So if I were to change my angle a little bit, all right, and I were to do that, let's go completely vertical. Put yours like almost at a 90, all the way on the tip of mine. All right, so if I had that right there, does that create a triangle?
Yeah.
All right, create a triangle. Now, if I were to draw a low enough angle, remove yours real quick, I'm gonna make the angle really small. Now can she connect? So bend it a little bit more. Yeah, because remember this dotted line continues. So I could go there, or is another spot there?
Yeah,
You were gonna do it while I go. Yeah, like that, right there, I have that. So with me? So kind of depends on what that angle is. Thank you so much. All right, kind of depends on what that angle is. If that angle is really big, we may not be able to make a triangle with the two sides. Obviously, I showed you drastically, I showed you a meter stick versus a ruler, so with a versus a foot, so it changed a lot. So we could get a situation where we get no triangle, we can't make one. We could get a situation where we could only have one triangle, like what we did on Friday. Now I didn't have to worry about those because they didn't spell the bad word, all right? But we could get one that makes two different triangles, all right? So we call this the ambiguous case. That's the name of kind of what we're doing today, the ambiguous case. Ambiguous because when you give it to me, I don't know if it's no triangle 1, triangle 2 until I get into working this, okay? All right, and we get the ambiguous case when it spells the bad word, forwards or backwards, all right? All right, that's why I leave it up here. Not because I like the word, all right? So if I were to take a look at this first one here, I've got angle A is 57 degrees, all right? Side B is 15 and side A is 20. Now here's what a lot of people will do. Can I use law of sines? Yeah, I can right now. And so do I need to draw the triangle to show that I can use law of sines? No, but that's what a lot of people will do. They won't draw the triangle, and I can use law of sines because why? I have both A's, right? I have both A's right now, so I know I get to use that. Well, let me draw it out real quick. So if I were to draw it out, I have A, B, C. Bless you. I have 57, I have 20, and I have 15. So there's where the pieces go. Now I draw it out for this reason only. This is an angle side-side, or side-side angle. So once I recognize what it is, angle side-side, or side-side angle, spells a bad word, I gotta kind of pause a little bit because there's something that could be different about this triangle, okay? I could be in one of those 3 different cases. Everybody all right with that? I didn't have to do that with angle side angle or angle side or any of that. Now, I'm gonna start. So the only thing I can really do here is I'm gonna do sine of 57 over 20, and I'm gonna use 15 here, which means what has to be on top over here?
Big B.
Say again?
Big B.
The big B, sine of the angle B, all right? That's really the only pieces that I have. Everybody okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Again, we're gonna do it the same way that we've done. We're gonna cross multiply and divide and solve it that way. So I'm gonna go 15 sine of 57 equals 20 sine of B, and then I'm gonna end up dividing by 20. So I'm gonna go put that right there into my calculator. Everybody okay with that? Does it look a whole lot different than what we did on Friday? Not a lot right now. There's going to be a little difference here in just a second. Okay? So here we go. Control division 15 sine of 57 divided by 20. And I get that. That looks a little bit weird right now, but what is it that I haven't done yet? I've got to do the sine, right? This is sine of b. That's the ratio. But I don't want sine of b, I just want b. How do I get rid of sine? Inverse, the inverse sine. Okay? So I'm going to do the inverse sine of this. So we're solving for an angle today. Did we have to solve for an angle the other day? Not really, because they gave me two and I could go find the other one really easy, right? So I'm solving for the angle, so I'm going to use my up arrow, and there it goes. All right? And got 38.97, so if we were to round that, we're going to round that to the nearest whole number, that's fine. That's 39 degrees. All right, so I have, let me come over here real quick. I've got to go find angle B, I've got to go find angle C, and I've got to go find side C. Those were the three things that were missing. Well, we just found angle B. Angle B is 39. Now, here's the part that I got to be careful with. Okay? Let me do a little bit easier one. Let me do this. Sine of theta equals a half. Where's sine of theta equal to a half? Thank you. Many of you got your hands and your fingers out and started counting, right? And so we can do the inverse sine here by counting on our fingers. It is 30, right? So we did this in the previous units and stuff, but is 30 okay? No, because we normally have what? We normally have two answers, correct? So when we do the inverse sine and we do the inverse cosine and all that kind of stuff, we normally have two answers. So my answer is 30 and 150. How are 30 and 150 connected? Say again?
They're both positive.
They're both positive. How else are they connected? 30 and 150. They're reflected over that y-axis. They're reference angles to each other.
They add up to 180?
Thank you. They add up to 180. Okay? So 180 minus 30 gives me 150, correct? So, that being said, what's the other angle that gives me the same sine value that we have in this problem?
141.
Thank you, 141. 180 minus 39. So when I take the sine, I could get two answers. Now here's the thing with sine. Where's sine positive? At the top, which is from 0 to 180 degrees, which could be all the angles in the triangle, correct? They work. I'm not worried about this with cosine because cosine is only positive in the first quadrant. It's negative in the second quadrant. So it's not as conflicting there, all right? So 141 is the other angle it could be. So I'm going to write that down. Now, how do I know if there's one triangle or two triangles? I got to do this step right here. What's in my triangle to begin with? What was given? 57. If I take 57 and add 39 to it, do I have room for a third angle?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So 57 and 39 is 96, which leaves me room for a third angle, which would be 84. That's how I would get angle C. Now, it could be 39 or it could be 141. Well, tell me about 141.
Too big.
If I add it with the 57 that's already there, it's too big. Doesn't work. So that one doesn't work. So this would be an example of a one triangle solution. Everybody okay with that? So I get the two values that it could be. The thing that's different today is we're solving for the angle. We have this, and now I gotta go finish the last step here. How would you finish? How would you find side C? Law of sines like we did, okay? So I would take sine of 57 over 20. And I would take C, which is 84 over C. And I'd cross multiply and I'd solve it like we've done, okay? So 2 times sine of 84. Uh, 20 times sine of 84, I said 2, sorry. 20 times the sine of 84 over the sine of 57. And that missing side would be 23.7. Double check my work. Biggest angle is 84. 23.7 looks like the biggest side. And B is the smallest angle. Looks good. Okay? Everybody all right with that? I had to double check to make sure that that other angle didn't work because it spelled the bad word.
You not round it or you just keep it 0.7?
That's 3 significant figures.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm after. That's how they want you to round is 3 significant figures.
I know how you got the 141, but when would you use it?
Hold that thought. Okay? All right. Here we go. Try the next one. Can I use law of sines? Yes. Okay, I know that right now. But again, I'm going to draw it real quick. So A, B, C. There's 40. There's 3. C is 6. And I have angle, side, side. Or side, side, angle. So it's a bad word, so something's up with this. So I want you to set it up and go find the missing angle. Go find missing angle C. Thank you. Sine of 40 over 3 equals 6 over sine of C. Cross multiply and divide. Give me a little chance to get ahead of me. I'm going to do 6 sine of 40 divided by 3. And I'm going to do the inverse sine. Is that what you got? If you're going, okay, something's up here. But again, I looked at the triangle, spelled the right word, I know something's up. All right? Which means what? What would my answer be on this?
This triangle can't.
Yeah, there is no triangle. Okay, I can't make that triangle. Remember, the angle was so big a while ago that we couldn't connect and we couldn't make it to be a triangle. That's the situation here. And so you can say this any way, a couple different ways. I'm normally just going to say there's no triangle. Okay? No triangle, or you could tell me that there's no solution to this one. All right? I can't find the other pieces because the pieces don't work. The triangle can't be made with these pieces.
So 2 triangles is the same as no triangle?
No. Okay. There's 3 different things that could happen here. I could have no triangle. It doesn't work. I could have 1 triangle that works, or I could have 2 triangles that work. Okay? So this is a situation no solution doesn't work. Okay? Now, if I got a no solution and I had like what we did on Friday, like an angle side angle, and I got no solution, then I would think I did something probably wrong. Okay? Because normally I don't get a no solution with triangles. Okay? But if I have an angle side side, spells bad word, got no solution, I'm going, oh, that's one that doesn't work. Okay? That's why I'm kind of making a big deal about it as you go. All right? Everybody okay on that one? What it's saying here is that side, if I've got this and I got this, and then I have a really long one, so this is 6, this is 3. No, I said that wrong. All right? C is really long, A is short, so that's 3, this is 6, this is 40 degrees. You see that's not going to make a triangle. All right, it's not going to work. Okay? All right. So last one for the day. Obviously, what's your thoughts? Probably going to be on this one. This one's probably going to be the 2 one. All right, and that's where we're going with this. All right. This one's going to make 2. So let's look at it and see how it works. All right. So here's angle A, B, C, and so B is 32, B is 30, and A is 42. All right? Again, this is angle, side, side, angle, spells that word. All right? I know from the clues that I can already use the law of sines, but I gotta be careful. So I'm gonna set this up. Sine of 32 over 30 equals sine of A over 42. Really, that's the only way that I could set that up. Only have A's and B's. Now, here's what I'm gonna do to try to help. The things that I have missing is this. I have angle A missing, angle C missing, and side C missing. I'm going to write it in two different colors so you see it, all right, as you're going. We're not technically to that point yet, but we're going to get there, all right? So let's cross multiply and let's solve. By the way, I didn't make a mention of this a while ago, but in my calculator, at this step right here, could you have told me that it didn't work?
Because it's greater than 1.
Thank you. All right, remember our sine graph? The highest it goes up is 1, the lowest it goes down is -1. So if I were to take a sine or inverse sine of that, it's not going to work because it's too big. All right, so I have that there. So here we go. Let's go 42 sine of 32 over 30. Thank you. Memorize most of it. Okay. Gonna do an arc sine of that or inverse sine of that. There it goes. I'm back here. It's been on winter break. All right. You got all kind of zoomies. All right. Here you go. So the answer, the angle that's missing for A is 48. Everybody okay with that? It's technically 47.9, but a lot of times they'll say round to the nearest whole number on A. Okay? So 48. All right. So that being said, let's go back over here. So when we did that, angle A is 48. Now, since I did the sine of it, it's got two potential answers. What is the other potential answer? If it's 48 in the first quadrant, it is 132, because they add up to be 108. They're supplements. So 132 is the other possible angle. Everybody okay with how I found it? Okay?
And that's because we're doing the inverse sine.
We're doing the inverse sine.
Okay.
So when we're solving for the inverse sine, just like if we were doing it on fingers or whatever, there's two angles, one in the first quadrant, one in the second quadrant, that give me the same ratio. Okay? So I'm writing both of them down. Now, what angle is already in the triangle that I can't really mess with? 32. It's there. It's put. Okay? So 32 plus 48 is 80, which leaves me 100 left over for that angle. Everybody all right with that? Now, let's try 32. 132. So I have 32 there, and I have 132 here, which adds up to be 164. Is there room for a third angle? Yeah, not a whole lot, but there's room. So it's 16. Okay? So I'm making two triangles here. That's what I'm making. I'm going to make a red triangle as an option. Okay? I'm making a blue triangle could be an option. All right? Now some of you going, oh my goodness, how many of these are going to be on the test? All right? There may be one, maybe two. I'm not going to give you 10 of these where you have to find. Now, if I gave you 10 of the no triangle ones, you'd be happy. All right? All right? Doesn't work, go on. All right? Now, I'm not finished. So I'm going to go find angle or side C here. So I'm going to do the sine of 32 over 30, because that was what was given. That's the B's. And I'm going to do sine of 100 over C. I'm going to cross multiply and solve. I'm going to go 30 times sine of 100 over sine of 32. So 30 times the sine of 100. over the sine of 32. So that's 55.8. Okay. Now, we got to do the same thing again, but this time around, I'm going to take the 100 out and I'm going to put 16 in its spot because that's the other thing that C could be. So the angle C could be 100 or it could be 16. So we'll put 16 in there. So I'm just going to go copy and paste basically. So I'm going to take this same equation. I'm going to change that 100 to 16. And so the other thing that C could be would be 15.6. That's not an angle, it's just the side. Okay? So one triangle could make, I know the angle B, the side B and the side A, but this would be the angle A, angle C, side C, that would make a triangle. But this also would make a triangle as well, right? Some of you are going, I don't know about that, all right? So let's look real quick. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna draw it like this. Okay? I'm gonna say this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay? So the first case, if it was that one, A would be 48, B would be 32, and C would be 100. Does it look like I've kind of drawn it to scale? Does that one look like the obtuse angle? All right. That would be 55.8. This would be 30, and that would be 42. That'd be one option. Okay. Other thing I could do is if I took this side like we did a while ago, if I put it here, if I drew it like that, now this is side A, angle A right there. So this would be 132. That's 32. That would be 16. And then this side would be 42. This side would be 30. And this side would be 15.6. So there's the two looks. There's the two pictures of it as well. Okay? So again, all of it bases with, I've got to label the triangle. I got to know what it is. I know I'm dealing with a bad word. And I've got to be able to double check. If not, I'll just do it the one triangle way and it'll work, and I'll never think about that second triangle. Okay? Everybody all right?
So
Yes, sir.
what is the answer? How would we write an answer?
Yeah, I'd write it just like this, because a lot of times I'm going to label what you're missing or whatever. And so I would just label it twice and just make sure that these are all the same. Don't mix match them. So what this is saying is if A is 48, then C has to be 100, and that means that side has to be that. So those all go together. Okay? If we said that it was the bigger one, then C has to be the smaller one, and so the side C is the smaller one as well. So those all good. So I just write it kind of strategically like that. Good. And again, there's not going to be a super great amount of those, but you got to be aware. Okay? All right. You have page, we've got about 10 minutes left. You got page 489 for homework. Yes, sir.
Wait, so is that two triangles or two possibilities?
There's
for
two
one?
different triangles that I can make. If you gave me these three things,
Yeah.
then there's two distinctly different triangles I can make.
Did you want a book?
Okay?